Description of diverse parhelia that have appeared this winter in these regions, by Claude Dablon. Read by Frank Blissett. On the 21st of January, 1671, 1 or 2 hours before sunset, the first parhelion was seen at the Baie Des Paunts. High in the air was seen a great crescent, its horns pointing heavenward, while on the 2 sides of the sun were 2 other suns at equal distances from the real one which occupied the middle. It is true they were not entirely revealed, as they were covered in part by a rainbow-hued cloud, and in part by an intense white radiance, which prevented the eye from clearly distinguishing them. When the savages saw this, they said that it was the sign of a severe cold spell. And indeed, the succeeding days were extremely cold. On March 16th of the same year, the same parhelion showed itself in 3 places more than 50 leagues apart. It was seen at the Mission of Saint Ignace at Missilimakinac, where 3 suns appeared, seeming to be about half a league from one another. The following 3 circumstances were noted by us. First, they became visible twice on the same day, namely, in the morning, an hour after the sun rose, and in the evening, an hour before it set. Second, that one of the 3, which in the morning was toward the south, was found in the evening toward the north. And furthermore, the one which in the morning was toward the north was seen in a lower position than the one in the middle, while in the evening, having changed its position and taken the south side, it was situated higher than the real sun. The third circumstance has to do with the shape of the 2 false suns, for the one toward the south seemed so well formed that it could hardly be distinguished from the real one, except that, on the side toward the latter, it appeared to be adorned with a band of scarlet. The other, however, which was on the left, had much more the appearance of an oval-shaped iris than of a sun, although it was very evidently a representation of one, in which the painter had not been remarkably successful. Yet it was crowned with a sort of gold fillet, which gave it a very beautiful aspect. This same parhelion was seen the same day on the Island of Ekaentouton, in the Lake of the Hurons, more than 40 leagues from Missilimakinac. The following curious facts were noted. 3 suns appeared in the west simultaneously, parallel with the earth, and equal in size, although not in beauty. The real sun was toward the west-southwest, while of the 2 false ones, one was toward the west, the other toward the southwest. At the same time were seen parts of 2 circles parallel with the horizon and colored much like the rainbow, the blue being inside, the color of aurora in the middle, and the dull gray or ash color on the outside. Moreover, a quarter of a circle, perpendicular to the horizon and colored nearly in the same manner, touched the false sun which was toward the west, and, cutting the semicircle which was parallel with the horizon, became confused and lost at this intersection, where the false sun appeared. The sky was not so clear near the suns as in its remaining portion, where not a cloud was seen and the atmosphere was moderately clear. The moon was distinctly visible, and, had it been night, the stars would have been easily seen. The atmosphere was able to hold the false suns for a considerable time, but not the real one. These three suns together did not give so much light as does the real sun when the sky is perfectly clear. There was an apparent wind in the higher atmosphere, the false suns disappearing from time to time, as did even the real one. Above it, at length, was seen a fourth sun, situated directly over it, and at the same distance from it as the two others which were seen at its sides. This third false sun continued but a very short time, although the two semicircles which we mentioned did not fade away so soon. And when all the false suns ceased to appear, they left behind them two rainbows as the last beautiful traces of their light. The savages, who regard all such unusual things as spirits, and who hold that these spirits are married, asked the father who instructed them whether these were not the sons' wives that he was observing with such curiosity. He told them that the Maker of all things wished to instruct them concerning the mystery of the Holy Trinity, and to disabuse them by means of the very Son that they worshipped. Indeed, on the day after this parhelion, the women who had before been unwilling to hear any mention of prayer offered their children for baptism. Finally, this same phenomenon was also seen on the same day at the Sault, but in a manner very different and more wonderful, since, in addition to the appearance of 3 suns in the morning, 8 were seen all together soon after noon, arranged as follows. The real sun was crowned with a circle formed of rainbow hues, of which it occupied the center, having at its 2 sides 2 counterfeit suns, and 2 others placed, one at its head, so to speak, and the other at its feet. These 4 last named were situated on the circle's circumference, equally distant from, and directly opposite one another. Furthermore, another circle was seen, of like hues with the first, but much larger, passing up through the center of the real sun, and carrying, at its lowest point and at its 2 sides, 3 apparent suns. And all these 8 luminaries formed together a spectacle highly pleasing to behold. That was Description of Diverse Parhelia that have appeared this winter in these regions, by Claude Dablon. Read by Frank Blissett.